What is up, you beautiful people? Welcome along to Tuesday's late night agenda. Appreciate your time as always. We're going to have lots of fun this evening. I'm in good mood. We're going to have a laugh. Let's look ahead to the weekend. Let's talk managerial vacancies. Let's talk whatever it is you guys want to talk about. There is Champions League football on this evening, as I'm sure that you're aware. Feels weird that Liverpool aren't in European action this week, but we'll sit back and watch how it all unfolds. Obviously, with Liverpool safely securing their spot into the next round of the Europa League, we don't have to worry about this week's playoff round, which is the benefit of winning the group. So yeah, loads to go through. We're going to have a word from our sponsors, Oosh, tonight as well. We're going to be giving you guys the latest on Oosh's relaunch of their new website with some fantastic competitions as well. And as always, you guys can get your discount code with AA10, but we'll go through that in a little bit. So yeah, rejected Mbappe. Yes, that is correct. I know, it sounds a lot, and it's a bit of a surprising one, but it is actually true. So we will go through that, of course, as well in more detail, my friend, as the evening goes on. But I hope you're in for a good time tonight, because I'm in good mood, and it's nice to be here with you, as always. So what do we want to start off with? Do we want to start off talking about the Kylian Mbappe stuff? Do we want to talk about the players who returned to training today, which was great to see? You know, we had Mohamed Salah, Stefan Bajcetic, who else was returning today? Joe Gomez, Connor Bradley and Alisson all returned to Kirby today, which is great. A good boost for us ahead of the weekend's game against Brentford. Mohamed Salah was back taking full part in training, so you would imagine he'd be there or thereabouts for the trip to Brentford. Mbappe first. I got you, don't worry, no problemo. Right, look, I know it's a bit of a mad one, and you're thinking, hang on a minute here, Craig, what? But yes, apparently that is actually true. So, as per Miguel Delaney, who is certainly one of my favourite journalists, Miguel has said Kylian Mbappe would willingly join Arsenal. However, like Liverpool, they don't want to break their financial wage structure. Again, from Miguel Delaney, it says the Ligue 1 champions PSG endured what they felt was a lack of loyalty when Mbappe's wider circle reached out to Liverpool last year, but there was no offer from the Anfield hierarchy who didn't want to break the wage structure. So apparently there was conversations, and Liverpool didn't want to pursue it because they felt, according to Miguel Delaney, that it would have broken the parameters of our wage structure. And it's fair enough. I don't think any of us can have any complaints about that. You know, if Liverpool have a number that they're comfortable paying for anybody, be that Mohamed Salah, Kylian Mbappe, Virgil van Dijk or whomever, it makes sense that they don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And in this case, I understand it, you know, because the numbers involved in flirting with or trying to bring Kylian Mbappe to your football club, I could imagine, are pretty eye-watering numbers. We've seen even Real Madrid this week struggle to come to an agreement with Kylian Mbappe's mother or his representatives around what would be enough to bring him to Real Madrid. So I guess, again, it's got to come down to, does he want legacy or does he want pound notes? And he'll probably argue he could have both, but look, there are clubs backing away here, left, right and centre. Liverpool and Arsenal both were potential options for Kylian Mbappe, but both Liverpool and Arsenal don't want to pay the money it would take to satisfy his wage demands, which I think we can all understand. And yeah, that's the story pretty much, that Liverpool Arsenal rejected the opportunities to give him a truckload of cash. So now it's going to come down to, once again, does he find a way to stay at PSG? Do the PSG higher-ups give him what he needs, what he wants, or will Real Madrid find a solution? At some point, he does have to look to his career and think legacy. And, you know, I don't think he'll be able to achieve that at PSG. I truly don't. The club like Liverpool, Real Madrid, even maybe Arsenal, you could think, okay, potential there for some European, maybe not so much from the Arsenal sense, but they're certainly going in the right direction. So, yeah, he's got to look at it now and make a decision. What does he want to do? You know, he's won the World Cup, so that's ticked off. He's won the French League title on numerous occasions. Will he win the Champions League with PSG? Probably not. Will he win a Ballon d'Or at PSG? Again, I would say probably not. So Mr. Mbappe has to make up his damn mind. There you go. That's where we're at with the Mbappe situation. Do you guys think it's right that Liverpool wouldn't break their wage structure to give Mbappe a deal? I think, like I'll say what I've always said, if we were ever going to break our wage structure, we broke it for the man who deserves it broken from him, Mohamed Salah. So it makes sense to me that Liverpool don't want to start paying obscene amounts of money for somebody who, I think it's fair to say, brings some headaches along with them. So for me, if we weren't going to go in for Bellingham, I can absolutely understand how we're not going in and pulling the trigger for the Mbappe stuff. Yeah, I get it. I understand it. Just thought we'd bring it to you guys because, of course, it's a pretty big story in world football at the minute. I don't think he's worth it, said Kieran Knapp. L7 Zekro said, I'd get him if we get rid of Salah. I still don't know. Like, look, it's hard to put up an argument to say you wouldn't like to see Kylian Mbappe wearing a Liverpool shirt. Of course we would, but I understand the decision. I've moaned about FSG and money for a lot of things, but on this one I actually understand where they're coming from. Clearly we've spoken with them. PSG feel annoyed that we spoke with him last year, but I guess he was exploring his options, and we know that FSG have held a long interest in Kylian Mbappe, but obviously when it comes down to it, they don't want to pony up what it would take, and based off what we're seeing, it's looking like a salary of about £1.5 million a week, especially if you want to keep up with the money he's apparently making at Paris Saint-Germain. So yeah, never really expected Liverpool to be paying that much money. To be fair, if he ever did come to the Premier League, to Liverpool or Arsenal, I'm sure his wage demands would have to be measured accordingly. Do I think Salah will start against Brentford? I do, Jack. Yes, I do. Because I don't think we're talking about a regular human being here. We're talking about a machine, a Superman. And we all know that it won't take Mo that long to get back to full speed. And also, he's training from early in the week. So we've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I think, yes, he should be okay to start. I guess the question then is, what does the front three look like? Who misses out? So we discussed it a little bit earlier on, and I'd like to see Darwin through the middle, Mohamed Salah on the right, and Lucho on the left. I know that probably sounds a little bit harsh on Diogo, but I think that would be the strongest three we'd have. Maybe you guys disagree, but that would be my starting attack anyway. Craig, would you start Elliott on Saturday? For me, he deserves it. Yes, I would. It's a difficult situation though, because I guess putting in Endo in the number 6 and playing with Jones, McAllister would probably be fairly attractive to Jurgen Klopp. But I do feel that Elliott has earned the right to get a start, especially with Dominic Szoboszlai not playing. So yeah, for me, I would. Jurgen can argue about whether it's going to be Endo or McAllister in the 6, but ahead of them, I think Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott is probably the best option for us, unless Jurgen wants to move Trent into midfield, but I don't think he'll be available, in all honesty. So then we've got to have a question about, will it be Joe Gomez at right back, or will it be Conor Bradley? And I guess we'll find that out maybe closer to the weekend. Sorry, I don't understand. Why go after somebody who just wants money? Nothing else will do. It's a fair point, Jason. I don't really have a pushback, mate. He does seem to be about that money life. And he's, I don't know how much is enough for some people, you know. At what point do you start to question your legacy in the game? If I was him, that would be pretty much now, because, you know, he's going to be financially rewarded for the rest of his life, no matter what. But, you know, does he want to win Champions Leagues, Ballon d'Ors? I would imagine so. I mean, it would be criminal if Kylian Mbappe finishes his career without a Champions League or a Ballon d'Or. Craig, my stream before was brilliant. Or excuse me, Craig, the stream before was brilliant. I'm turning 20 on Saturday for my birthday, and I'm going to the Brentford game. First game was Liverpool versus Spurs 2 seasons ago. Let's hope for a better result than the 1-1. Well, firstly, happy birthday, Rahul. That's brilliant. I'm so happy to hear you're going to the game. Hopefully we get a result. Hopefully we get a bit of luck on your birthday there and we bring home the 3 points. But yeah, big game. Another chance for us to lay down a marker and get the point on the board before the rest of them kick off this weekend. So, you know, these 12:30s are great if you win them. Then we get to sit back for the weekend, see how Manchester City and Arsenal's games unfold, and let's see what the Premier League table looks like come the end of the weekend. For us, obviously, we hope we're top of it. How long is Soboslai out for? Honest answer, Omar, I don't have a definitive answer. Um, I don't know if this is just me in my own head, but I'm hoping he's back for the League Cup final against Chelsea. I don't know if others are maybe expecting him back before then, but I guess we'll get more information this week when Kloppo has his pre-Brentford press conference. I think Bradley needs a permanent position with Trent going into midfield, said L7 Zekro. I'm with you. I think we've a better balance with Conor Bradley at right back. But look, I get it. It is also very early to be talking about him booting Trent out of the team. But I don't look at it that way. I look at it that when we've had Conor Bradley at right back, I think we've looked more balanced and it's allowed us to be a better team all around. And if Jurgen can find a way to get Trent into midfield, that's on him. But I don't think this weekend Trent is going to be available based off what I'm reading and seeing. So I guess it'll come down to a shootout between Joe Gomez and Conor Bradley for that right back position. Either one, I think, is still going to do a fine job because they're both more than capable. I believe Chelsea would get a result against City, said Jack. Yeah, it's difficult, Jack, isn't it, to know which Chelsea are going to show up, mate, because they've started to grind out a little bit of consistency recently. Obviously, coming from a goal down to beat Crystal Palace 3-1 last night, that'll certainly help take the pressure off Pochettino. But there's still a huge gap. I was looking at the table; they're still 10th in the Premier League, which is crazy. We were also saying earlier on, Jack, that there is apparently the ability for Chelsea to spend 200 million before sales in the summer, which I still can't get my head around, to be honest with you, bro. It just seems like a crazy amount of money again for them to be able to spend. Craig, do you think Trent would make a better CDM than Endo or McAllister? No, not a hope. I just don't see the attributes there. So for those two positions, you're going to have somebody who presses very, very high themselves and is also press resistant. I don't think that's Trent. I think if Trent ever goes into midfield, and I assume he will, I think, like all of us have suggested, some type of a double pivot role in there, which may see a change of system. But, maybe I'm looking at this wrong, but I just don't see him as being a natural number 6. I just don't think he has those attributes. Unless you're talking about a Regista, somebody who's a lot deeper lying and isn't really there to break up play, but more dictate the game. Alonso-esque, but doesn't seem to be the system we play now. So I think Klopp is rightfully happy with Toro and Alexis for the way that they play the role, particularly Toro has really come into his own over the last few months. So good headaches, This is the joys of having such a good squad. There's some battles around that pitch that Klopp has to make some tough decisions with. And I'd rather have good headaches than no solutions, I guess. Would you like Kimmich? And if so, do you think him and Trent could play for us in a double pivot? Would I like Kimmich? I would, for the reason that we need to replace some experience in the squad. So if we lose Thiago at the end of the season, which makes sense to me, if you could bring in somebody like a Joshua Kimmich, that would be great. If you're asking me what I think he ends up doing, I think he ends up at Manchester City. But I think he'll be Calvin Phillips' replacement if Manchester City find a way to sell him in the summer. So yeah, I would take him, but I can't see him coming to Anfield, especially with Jurgen going now as well. What about Trent as a number 10? In what sense of a number 10? Because we don't really play with a number 10. We play with two advanced midfielders. I guess you could call them number 10s. I mean, maybe I'm just being pedantic, but do you think he'd have the work rate to do what Dominic Szoboszlai or Harvey Elliott or Curtis Jones do, which is cover 10 or 11 miles a game and get up and down the flank? I don't know the answer to that. Trent's ball playing ability is not in question. I think we'll all agree that the man's an artist with the ball at his feet, but it's the work off the ball that often leaves me a little bit underwhelmed by Trent on occasion. So if he can figure that out and if Klopp's happy with it, look, you have to try and find a way to get Trent into the team because his ability on the ball is such that he probably deserves an opportunity to play in midfield. But I just don't know yet what that midfield balance looks like. John Williams, thank you, sir, for your super chat. Very kind of you. Said, hi, Craig. First of all, glad you're back and well. Do you think Conor Bradley should start at right back and Trent in right midfield? It's just what I'm thinking. So, the Conor Bradley part, yes. I think he should start at right back. But I guess if we see it, we'll know. But I can't imagine Trent putting in the work rate that Dominic Szoboszlai does on the right side of midfield. But maybe I'm being unfair to Trent. So I guess the only way we're going to find out is when we see it. Now, probably won't be this weekend because I doubt Trent's going to be available for the game based off, well, the knee. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one because I feel like you can't drop Trent, but I don't know where his position is. I can't get away from the fact that I think we look better with Conor Bradley at right back, or even Joe Gomez. I think either of those two give us a better balance. And maybe that's because of that hybrid role that Trent plays, where, that game against Arsenal still doesn't sit well with me. Their first goal and how open we were through the middle and how far up the pitch Trent was and how high Virgil van Dijk was. It all just didn't give us balance. And if you add to that the fact that I think we're suspect from defensive set pieces as well, I think we've a lot to do defensively to shore ourselves up. We've no problem scoring goals, as we know. And midfield has plenty of options now, be it, Jones, by Čečić when he's fit, Thiago if he's fit, obviously Szoboszlai, Trent, McAllister, the list goes on and on and on. So it's just about striking the balance, I think. And I'd like to see Klopp show a bit of ruthlessness and less loyalty to some of those players, because Trent is an odd one. Because you go through phases where I think he looks like a world beater, and then we'll have other weeks where I think he looks like he's not bothered. Particularly when it comes to tracking back. You see other players tracking back and you see them busting a gut to get back. I don't necessarily always see that with Trent, but then again, I don't know what instructions Trent's being given from the manager. Mythical Returns, thank you for being with us 6 months as a member, mate. That's really kind of you. Said Archie Gray with an assist from right back tonight. Looks like he has the versatility like Milner to play anywhere. Probably. He's a real prodigious talent, yes. I'm struggling to think if we do go for Archie Gray, and I hope we do because he does look like a real talent. I still think we'll be a little bit devoid of experience in midfield because we've got quite a young midfield at the minute, and with losing Thiago in the summer, I would like a bit of experience brought in there. But again, maybe a young, hungry team is what the next manager would like. And I rejected Selena Gomez. All banter, love you, Craig. I mean, not my cup of tea, Selena Gomez, Keane, to be honest with you. More of a Mila Kunis fan, but it is true though. That's the thing, Keane. Like, I know it sounds crazy. Like, it's not like Mbappé was begging to come to Liverpool and FSG just said no, Kylian, no. But we rejected the opportunity to get into serious discussions because of the wages, I guess. So, I mean, it depends how we phrase it. We wanted to have a bit of fun with it tonight, Keane, which is why we went with the title that we did. You try Trent in midfield in the FA Cup, not in the league. Yes and no. So I totally appreciate where you're coming from, my friend, but the test isn't going to be as big in the FA Cup because we're playing Southampton at Anfield. So you would expect that if Trent was in midfield for that game, that he should be bossing that game. I think if you're really going to try him and see how it works longer term, you need to try him against better opposition, because it's a bit of a false equivalency for me if you just throw him in for the FA Cup game. But again, I appreciate where you're coming from. Mark said, halftime update, Copenhagen won, Lion cheating bastards with 115 charges too. Did they get a second one before halftime? Damn, I thought it was 1-1. There you go. Craig, what do you think the definition of world class is? I think it's in the eye of the beholder, mate. It depends what you think is world class. I don't know if there is a definition. For me, probably somebody in the top 5 people in their position in the world. somebody who can grab a game by the scruff of the neck and change the direction of it when all looks lost. So for those you're thinking about, as a Zidane, a De Bruyne, a Gerrard, a Roy Keane, certainly a Kylian Mbappe, they're for me the real difference makers in world football. The Lionel Messi's, the Cristiano Ronaldo's, somebody who, even when it all looks shit, can just do something to change the pattern of a game in their favour. That's for me what real world-class footballers are. There's a lot of people world-class footballing ability, but to have the ability and the mental strength to back up that ability at the right moments when it counts, that's to me what makes world-class. The game is a lot mental, and for me, the real top-class players, they know when that time is, and they know how to get what they need to get out of themselves to make a difference. So yeah, there's lots of players who are technically world class, but when the backs are to the wall, that's when real world class comes to the fore. For instance, that Barcelona game, I'm never going to stop loving that game and the comeback, and seeing those Barcelona players just they knew what their fate was, and they couldn't do anything to stop it. And that to me is the essence of world class. We had the greatest set of players probably in Europe at that time, cowered down, scared of James Milner, Gini Wijnaldum, Divock Origi, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Jordan Bryan Henderson. That was world class. That was world class bottle. That was world class balls. So yeah, hope I've answered your question, but it is subjective. Anfield's looking fantastic now with the new stand open. The ground has come a long way in the last few years. I was only just saying this to my daughter, actually, Glenn. I remember one of my first trips over as an adult to Anfield, and it's night and day from when I've been over there now. Even just in and around the stadium, it's the facelift that FSG have given around Anfield is fantastic. The club megastore looks great. The new stand and the steps up to it and all, the look so inviting, and yeah, it's great. They deserve immense credit for that, and I'm glad for the people as well who still live around the area of Anfield that it's been redeveloped quite a bit. And I hope, I'm not there enough to know, but I hope day in, day out, local businesses are starting to thrive, and that Anfield can become part of the local community, because it has to be. It has to be the hub of the community, not just one day a week when it's a match day, but you would hope 7 days a week. What else we got? Thiago misses 100 games for Liverpool and Spain. Yeah, so there was somebody had a stat the other day, Harrow that said he'd played 98 games, I think, for Liverpool and missed 102 during the time he's been at the club. And that's not great, is it? Whichever way we look at it. Who's heard that Rio put Benzema over Suarez? That made me laugh. Over what? In his team of what? I don't know, the decade or something. I think it's farcical, to be honest with you. I think as good as Karim Benzema is, I think Luis Suarez is a better footballer on every level. But I would say that because he played for Liverpool. I remember when I was standing for the away fans in the corner and just one tier of seats there, said Paul Summerfield. I remember going to my first game as an adult, Liverpool Real Betis in the Champions League, sitting in the old paddock, right behind the dugout. And I've never had seats that good since, Paul, since I've been there. So I was a bit spoiled in my first game as an adult over to Anfield. And I've kind of been... I wouldn't say I've had seats anywhere near as good as that since, to be honest. Gino said, Craig, I'm surprised you're not doing any watch-alongs today. Honestly, Gino, I couldn't bring myself to sit through a Manchester City game. I couldn't be bothered. And I didn't really think that Leipzig, Real Madrid without Bellingham playing is that interesting. It feels weird because you're right. I should probably be doing a watch-along on Tuesday or Wednesdays, but I don't think the fixtures are that great this week, if I'm being really honest with you. Right, so a little bit of talk on Daniel Malin. I'd love to know what you guys think about this, but we mentioned it earlier on. There's a report coming out of Spain that Liverpool are readying an offer for Borussia Dortmund forward Daniel Malin. The Dutchman has scored 10 goals and registered 3 assists in all competitions this season, and he joined from PSV Eindhoven in 2021. Liverpool have been linked with a move for the 25-year-old in the past, but now they are said to be standing above the rest at present as other clubs attempt to secure his services. This report from Spain suggests that Liverpool are preparing an initial offer of about €40 million. I find that hard to believe, to be honest. Not because I don't think Daniel Malin is good enough or not good enough, but I find it hard to believe that we're looking at bringing in a specific player when we don't know who the next coach is going to be or what system we're going to play. So I'm going to say I think it's crap. That's just my opinion. Ref Saturday is Michael Oliver. Yep, we touched on this a little bit earlier on, Dave. As you've correctly said, Michael Oliver is the referee. I will take you through the rest of the officials now. 1 second, sir. Right, here we go. So yes, officials. Michael Oliver being the referee for the game against Brentford. Stuart Burt and Dan Cook are his assistants. Graham Scott is the 4th official. David Coote, unfortunately, is on VAR. And Tim Wood is the assistant VAR for the game against Brentford. He's not good enough, said Eugene about Daniel Malin. No thanks to Malin, said Dave Taylor. He doesn't strike me as a prolific striker, said Thomas. I agree. I agree with everyone there. I can see why he would appeal to a Jurgen Klopp system. But with Klopp not being here next season, and as you guys have rightly said, I don't see a prolific striker there in Daniel Malin. So yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you guys. Not a terrible player by any stretch of the imagination, but doesn't strike me as being somebody who's going to make a difference to us if he came in. Craig, Pedro Neto, ? Look, fan of Pedro Neto, have to be honest. Think the kid has a lot of fire in his belly, a lot of tools at his disposal. Would be concerned about his injuries, but, if the club are okay and feel comfortable enough to make a move for Pedro Neto, I'm not going to be objecting it. I think most of us probably have an appreciation for Pedro Neto. He's one of and I know he's somebody that Pep Linders will have run the rule over as well. He's a good player. I would have no issues with Pedro Neto coming to Liverpool, none. But I don't know what you guys think. Maybe I'm on my own on that one. But from the Liverpool fans I've been interacting with, I think a lot of us have a lot of admiration for Pedro Neto. I just ate some pancakes. What's the Mbappé news? Where's my pancakes? Nobody in my house likes pancakes. A Pancake Tuesday is just a big disappointment to me. But I'm going to Boston next month and I will be having pancakes every day. And actually, I want to just give a shout out to our sponsors as well for this one, because I got to let you know about 2 fantastic competitions that our friends at Oosh are running at the moment. And don't forget, Oosh are the home of giveaways. Whether it's cars, cash, tech, holiday, or those all-important Liverpool Football Club packages, our good friends at oosh.com have always got you covered. They've just relaunched a brand new website which is able to handle the flow of traffic that's coming its way these days because they're going places. But the package that I want to let you guys know about tonight is, how would you like to win 2 tickets to see Liverpool versus Chelsea in the EFL Cup final at Wembley on Saturday 25th of February, both seated together in the Liverpool end. You will also receive 1 night's accommodation at the Holiday Inn London West and IHG Hotel. And you will get €300 in Ryanair vouchers, or if you don't need the vouchers, you can take the cash alternative. It is a high roller draw, meaning it is €35 to enter. There is only 199 tickets available in the draw, and you can scan that QR code on the screen or get yourself over to oosh.com. Use our discount code AA10 to get yourself 10% off. I was about to say 20% off and free shipping. Wrong brand, Craig. And also they have another fantastic 10k Valentine's Day cash that they're giving away. Again, 9,975 maximum entries. It's only €1.99 to enter this, and they're giving away the money tomorrow. So they're going to do the draw 10 p.m. live in their official Facebook page. So get yourselves over to oosh.com for $1.99 minus 10%, so $1.79. You can be with a chance to win 10 G's cash, and that will be done in their official Facebook page tomorrow. So thank you again to Oosh, and best of luck to anyone that does enter. Hey Craig, rank our midfielders by best to worst. I don't feel like that's a possible thing to do, because we're ranking people in different positions. Midfielders, we have different varying midfielders, deeper lying midfielders, playmakers, harder workers, people who are more efficient with the football, people who would take extra risks in search of a better outcome. So yeah, sorry, I don't mean to pussy out the answer, but I feel it's a loaded question. And I feel like also it depends on who we're playing. So I wouldn't pick the same midfield week in and week out. I think it depends on the opposition. Yvonne Francis Leggett, thank you, my friend, for joining Anfield Agenda FC. Appreciate your support. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, we'd love you to hit that subscribe button and drop a like as well. And most importantly, we'd also like you to know about Boston. It's coming up. It's only 6 weeks, less than 6 weeks actually. I think it's 5 weeks from Friday. We're going to be in right across from Fenway Park at the iconic House of Blues in the Foundation Room, March 22nd, Anfield Agenda, live in Boston. If you'd like to come and see us, tickets are available at Ticketmaster, and it's going to be a fun night with a few surprises along the way. Craig, do you want to be my Valentine? Absolutely. Come on, bring it in, bro. Bring it in. Where's the hug? You know, I presume I'm getting chocolates out of this deal. So, you know, George, if I'm going to be, or who was it? If I'm going to be your Valentine, there was the man wants at least chocolate, you know? And I don't mean sexual chocolate. I mean hardcore, actual cocoa chocolate. Nom nom nom. Some people have a sweet tooth. I have a fat tooth. And a fat belly. And a fat head. But I like my chocolate. So, anybody who wants to be my Valentine better come with chocolate. Yes, Craig, how are you feeling since last live? Are you feeling better? Missed you, mate. I'm feeling okay, thank you. Yeah, Shahid, it's one of those lingering viruses. Even my missus saying the same. Like, she goes through the day, she's fine most of it, but every now and again it just rears up again, just to let you know you're not fully better yet. But definitely feeling a lot better than I was last week, sir. Thank you. No worries, I'll get you chocolates. Deal. I'm yours. I'm that easy. Do you know what I mean? I'm a cheap date, bit of chocolate, and I'm good to go. Right. So Miguel Delaney again was saying PSG felt a lack of loyalty when Kylian Mbappe's wider circle reached out to Liverpool last year, but there was no offer from the Anfield hierarchy. They just didn't want him that badly to break their entire financial structure, and that was from Mr. Miguel Delaney. Thomas Frank has been speaking about being somewhat linked to the Liverpool job, and this is what the Brentford managers had to say. There's a lot of rumours out there. I think we all have a bit of an ego, and that ego likes that little sugar. Oh, you're linked with that? How nice. But at the end of the day, I'm at Brentford. I'm very happy here. Do I have ambitions? Yes. Am I going to stay at Brentford forever? Maybe. Probably not. So who knows what will happen in the future. What I know is that I'm here in Brentford, and I'm very happy with it. Look, I think Thomas Frank's a good coach, but I don't want him as the Liverpool manager. That's just my take on it. I do like the way he gets his teams playing. I like how hard they work for him, but I don't think he'd have the gravitas or the pulling power to be Liverpool manager personally. But maybe I'm on my own on that one. Let us know your thoughts. What's this one? Who will end up with good seasons, McAllister or Enzo Fernandez? I think McAllister will have a better season because obviously we're in more competitions. But Enzo's starting to find a goal scoring touch in that Chelsea midfield. But hey, look, I like our boys. I like Mr. Alexis McAllister, and he's doing quite well. I guess the big question is who's Klopp's first choice number 6 now? Is it Alexis McAllister or is it Endo? That sounds like a poll to me. So let's get ready to get a poll on the go. 1 second. I'm going to start a poll on this one. So I'm going to ask who our best DM is. Alexis or Watoro? Right, over to you guys to vote. Who's our best DM? Is it Alexis or Watoro? Over to you guys to have your say, and we'll leave that running throughout the show. What's your honest opinion if Liverpool were bought by Middle Eastern owners? So, I feel like that again is a loaded question. For me, I don't care where an owner comes from. I just don't want any owners of any football teams from being state-backed. So if that's a Middle Eastern state-backed government, don't want it. If it's an Irish state-backed government, don't want it. Don't want anybody with any links to running a country owning a football club. I don't think it should be allowed. But I've no objections to anybody from any part of the world owning football clubs, as long as they are private business entities and can prove so that there won't be any state influence. I'm easy. It's never been about not wanting somebody from a part of the world for me at Liverpool. It's always just been about not wanting state-backed ownership. So if a wealthy individual from the Middle East wants to buy Liverpool, have at it. If a wealthy individual from America, Australia, Canada wants to buy Liverpool, have at it. I just don't like state-backed funds, because I don't think there's any jeopardy involved in it. Electric toothbrush versus manual ones. I've never had an electric toothbrush, Jens, so I can't give you an answer there, bro. My wife and my daughter have them, but I've always been old school. So I guess I've answered the question then, haven't I, really? Jason Morris. How are we, sir? Lovely to see you in as always. He said, what happens when Bajcetic comes back too? Yeah, good question, Jason. I guess the battle for the number 6 spot heats up, or perhaps then that's when we see Klopp go to a double pivot. So let's say we had Bajcetic and Trent as a double pivot, or Watoro and Trent, or Alexis and Watoro. Maybe then we go to one number 10 or one advanced midfielder. I'm not sure, but it certainly feels like with the collection of midfielders we have, it's going to be something that we'll have to figure out eventually. Who is the deep line 1 or 2, or do we change system? We might not figure that out this season, of course, because Klopp was going in the summer. But for next year and the next manager, it's certainly shaping up well. I've said this as well, Jason, loads of times. It's really, really a rare opportunity for somebody to come in and take over a football club not in crisis, which, you know, is usually the case when a manager departs. He's either falling out with the players, the crowd, or the owners. And for us, whoever comes in, be that, you know, Xabi Alonso, De Zerbi, whomever, they're coming into a club in a good place with a good squad that's been expertly refreshed by Jurgen Klopp and the recruitment team in the summer, and they'll still get their chance, I'd say, to put their own stamp on it. So the more I talk about the Liverpool job, the more I feel like people should be crawling over broken glass to come and get this job. It's not a job that I think should be needed to be sold to anybody, be that Xabi Alonso or anybody else. It's a job that should be a career-defining job. And yeah, if I'm FSG, I'm certainly not putting the hard sell on anyone for the job. You would expect people to want to come and work for Liverpool Football Club. If we move Bradley to right back, does Trent get in the 6 over Endo or Maka? For me, Tom, 100% no. I just don't have the trust in Trent as a number 6. I don't know if I speak for everybody or if I speak for myself, but I don't have the trust there, mate. I don't think he'd be able to do what Alexis or Watoro can do. I don't see him being press resistant. I don't see him forcing that high line. And I don't see him having the work rate. That's my genuine 100% take on Trent in the 6. I think young Bobby Clark is going to be a superstar. There's something about the kid. Thoughts, said John. Biggest thing I can say about Bobby Clark is never nervous when he comes on. Always feel like we're going to get a good, steady, professional performance from him. And I guess that's probably the biggest compliment I can pay the kid. You know, not being nervous when he's coming off the bench or to come on. You know, I think that's a good sign. Same with James McConnell as well. I think when he comes on, I never really have fear either. Both of them, I think are deserving of their step up to the senior team. Problem comes actually, I think, next season when we get Tyler Morton back as well. Because then you've got Tyler Morton, Bajcetic, Endo, Alexis, all probably vying for that, deeper lying midfield position. Unless Alonso comes in and we set up differently. Trent at number 6. Come on, what a waste. Well, I don't know if it is okay, how do I say this? I get where you're coming from, but also just think what he can do from that position, I just don't think... I don't know what he looks like in midfield full time. And I keep coming back to the same thing. And I'm sorry for repeating myself, but there's no position that screams Trent to me when I think of how we play now. In midfield, I mean. Will Ben Doak get as many chances as Clark and McConnell when he gets back? Probably falling behind Cade Gordon, if I'm being honest. Cade Gordon lost about a season and a half almost through injury, and I seen him in training pictures again today. So I think he's probably further along than Doak. So Doak has a bit of catching up to do. Is it just me, or is everybody feeling bad for media sweethearts like Arsenal and Newcastle for their injury issues and ignoring the family emergencies and overall unluckiness that we've had? I definitely don't feel like we've been mentioned often this season as a team that have had a fair share of injuries. There's been lots of talk about Newcastle and others, and look, I don't want to undermine their own seasons, but yeah, we've had a lot of players out this season for a lot of minutes at a lot of different points, be they injuries or off with international tournaments or whatever, or of course, unfortunately with Conor Bradley's case, a death in the family. So yeah, we've had our own struggles, and I think Jurgen has done remarkably well to get as consistent the season as we've had so far, even if we haven't been at our best as often as we'd like. Do you think we keep Calvin Ramsey after this year? 3 right backs seems excessive. Again, it's so tough to discuss Calvin Ramsey because we don't have a sample size of him playing. Since he's come in from Aberdeen, he's been very unlucky with injuries. Even on loan, didn't work out too well for him. So, truth is, I would expect a loan for him next season. Probably a championship level to see if he can get through the season injury free or as injury free as possible, and then see what level he's at. Craig, where do you want Trent to start, and do you really want him to be benched? Where do I want him to start? I don't know, and do I want him to be benched? No, but I don't see balance. It probably sounds like I have some type of anti-Trent agenda, which couldn't be further from the truth because I love Trent, but I just don't see... I don't see outside of the hybrid role that Klopp plays him in where else he plays in the way that we play with a 4-3-3. That hybrid role a lot of the time is a good role for him and we get away with it, but then there are times when we don't get away with it and it looks very obvious. So for the sake of balance, I think we need somebody who's going to play right back and have the ability to get up and down that flank all day, which Conor Bradley has at the moment. So, God, I guess maybe I bench Trent then. Fucking hell! Just thinking on the spot here. I feel like a bit of an asshole saying it, but yeah, probably bench him. I don't see where he naturally fits into the team outside of the right back spot. Yeah. I mean, look at the dynamic we have in midfield. To play like we do, we need the energy of a Jones and a Szoboszlai, and then you need the energy of somebody like Oturo or Alexis in the 6. So I don't think we're a team that can carry passengers, in all honesty. Do I see Trent going to a right side of attack? No. I think you're alienating him on one part of the pitch then again. So yeah, I think, weirdly, if Alonso comes in, I think Trent has a better chance of establishing himself in midfield in an Alonso system than the way we play with Jurgen Klopp. I think if Trent gets benched this season, he doesn't renew his contract. Perhaps. But I guess the real question should be what's best for the team, right? Not what's best for Trent or what's best for Jurgen or what's best for Conor Bradley. It should be what's best for the team. And at this moment in time, I think Conor Bradley has deserved to keep his spot. And Trent's injured, so it's kind of a bit of a moot point at the minute. Craig, you've seen Stefan now. He's grown every time I see him. Just needs to fill out his frame. Yes, 6'3", I think. And as you said, when he fills out as well and grows in, he's going to be a physical presence in that midfield. Ramsey's on the bench for Bolton tonight. Good. Well, hopefully he can get some minutes and start to get some consistency, because I certainly remember Oscar when we brought him in. He was very highly thought of. And the clips I'd watched of him playing for Aberdeen, he certainly looked to have something about him. He's just been very unlucky at the minute. So look, you've all asked me what I'd do with Trent. What would you do with Trent? If you were Jurgen Klopp or Xabi Alonso or whomever the next manager is, what would you be doing with Trent? You know, would you be looking to change the formation to get the best out of him, or do you think there's a role for him full time in the way we set up now? Harry Klein, thank you for your super chat. Harry said 4-2-3-1 as a double pivot or one of the 10s for Trent. I can see him in a 4-2-3-1, 100%. I can see that. Him is one of those two. That's probably the closest I can see us to being able to accommodate Trent fully in midfield, is that system you've said there, 4-2-3-1. Your three most important Liverpool players next season, said Jensk. Still going to be Alisson Becker in goal, Darwin Núñez, and I'm going to say Dominic Szoboszlai, because I think sometimes we need a little reminder that he's still very, very young, albeit also experienced. And I think he is going to, over time, he's going to be the big star, I think, in my head. I think he is the one that will get us the closest to that Gerrard-esque, De Bruyne style of combative midfielder who has a wand of a foot and can change games in an instant. That's how highly I think his ceiling is. Ashley Dooley said, I'd like to see Ali in goal, back four of Bradley, VVD, Gomez and Robbo. Trent and Endo both in the 6, McAllister ahead, and a front three of Diaz, Salah and Jota. So let me have a think about yeah, I could see that, but I'd feel very unlucky for Jones there if he was kicked out of the team. I feel Curtis Jones deserves a spot at the moment. Maybe move him as an 8 and keep McAllister in the 6 just to see, said Gino. Alisson Becker is the best goalkeeper. Yes, he is. Asif, best in the world in my opinion. Craig, do you feel we peaked too early in the season? I feel we've lost a bit of steam, but could be due to injuries. I don't think we've peaked yet, Toby Rose. Yeah, I think we're yet to hit our best form. I can think of a handful of games this season where I feel like we've really blossomed, but for me, I think we're a second half of the season team, and that's why I'm all the more confused about all the rolling over some people want to do to give Manchester City the league title. I think we're a long way from that. Yeah, I think we're going to hit our peak at the right time, in all honesty. You know, if we can hit our peak February, March, April, and start to put some runs of fixtures, or runs of wins, I should say, together in style, and get players back from injury as well, the options and depth of our squad are going to start showing its worth. I mean, there's been a couple of occasions this season where we've had a conversation and gone, shit, look at our bench. Look at the depth that we have there. So if we can get those guys back, we've a pretty deep squad and many, many options for Jurgen Klopp to change it up. City are a second half team too, though. Yeah, they are. I'm not for 1 second, Dylan, trying to say that Manchester City aren't going to be a problem. I just don't think we should just roll over, is what I'm saying. I feel like we're being disrespected, to be honest, and people just expect Manchester City to stroll to a league title. If we can beat them at Anfield and stay unbeaten up to that point from now, it's going to take a lot of convincing to tell me we're not going to win the league. Who is better, Craig? Prime VVD or Prime Ramos? Van Dijk. But Ramos had a longer time at the top. I think, honestly, Virgil van Dijk is top 3 Premier League defenders of all time, ever. Up there with, for me, Rio Ferdinand, probably John Terry, Vidic is there or thereabouts. Tony Adams was good back in the day. But I really, really, really think that Van Dijk at his brilliant best is unplayable. Would I take Julian Nagelsmann? I would be concerned, Steve. I wouldn't say definitively no, because he must have something about him to get the jobs he's gotten. I just always think of him as the cocky little upstart that came over with Hoffenheim in his little gilet, talking about Anfield's atmosphere, not going to intimidate them, and going home with his tail between his legs. And I've always felt like there's a bit of arrogance there that I don't like. But that could be just me misinterpreting how he carries himself as a guy. I don't feel he deserves the Liverpool job. That's the God's honest truth. He's after having a job at Bayern that didn't work out. Let's see how he gets on in the Euros with Germany. But again, I can only say what I said earlier on. I felt like we've had the best German, and any German that comes in afterwards would just be a pale imitation. He's still learning, but surely hungry for success. Who? Nagelsmann? Yeah. And look, he's been very clever about his career. I think he turned down the opportunity to take over at Real Madrid at one point. He tries to, much like Xabi Alonso, really map out his career. I think he has to be careful, though, in his next job or two, Julian Nagelsmann, because he can't afford to shit the bed at another big club. And if he does, I think it looks badly on him then going forward. Is it Waturu or Waturo? It's Waturo. SG. Craig, do you want to get Kimmich? Yes, I would like Joshua Kimmich, but I think he ends up at Manchester City. That's my gut feeling on it. I said this earlier on when somebody asked, to replace the experience of Thiago in the squad with somebody like him would be great. But I think with Jurgen moving on, I don't know if that puts the kibosh on the possibility, or if he's somebody Alonso, if he comes in, would look at. I truly don't know, but I do think Joshua Kimmich would be an astute addition to any squad. If we had a billionaire owner, we might go for Mbappé without such stress. It wouldn't make much of a difference, though, because the club would still have to be able to afford him. So it wouldn't really come down to the owner or not, because Liverpool, as mad as this sounds, could afford Kylian Mbappe, but obviously the owners don't want to break the wage structure, and I can respect that. So I said who's our best DM, and so far with over 500 votes, Watoro is winning with 75% of the vote. We'll leave that up for the remainder of the stream just to see if anything changes between now and the end. Lloyd Kelly touched on this a little bit earlier on. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Would you like to see Liverpool line up a free transfer for Lloyd Kelly in the summer? Bournemouth look like they could be losing him. He's becoming a free agent in the summer. HITC have said Newcastle, Spurs and Liverpool are all willing to make offers for him, and also there's expected competition from overseas. It's a name that we've been linked with for even before he joined Bournemouth, in all honesty. I don't think we need him at the minute. I think we should just go out and buy in Inacio or Hincapié personally. But I guess whilst he's free, I can understand why we're being linked. Tanya said, I don't believe City has as good a team as previous years. I agree, Tanya. I said that at the start of the season when they were 4 games unbeaten, that I don't see the same fear factor in them, and people laughed. And then, yes, look, they had a wobble at the start of the season. But for me, I don't see an invincibility around them. I feel like they're weirdly, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, I think they will win the Champions League, but I think we can pip them to the Premier League title. That's my honest feeling. They have to, I think for them to go on and win the league again, they're going to have to make sure that De Bruyne doesn't pick up another knock. Because if De Bruyne is missing for any period of time again, I think Manchester City's wheels fall off and they don't look as intimidating. And Haaland starts to get a bit frustrated. And there already seems to be a bit of an underlying, I don't say bad blood, but something seems like it's bubbling there to me between Pep and Haaland. What do I think about the darts? I love the darts, Oliver. Yeah, I've said this for years. That was the thing that I guess bonded me and my dad, boxing and darts. You know, he was a very good darts player, and I had a dartboard since I was a kid in my room. So, yeah, love the darts. Imagine City have 2 Champions Leagues and United only have 3. Yeah, I'd prefer it though if they were stripped of everything, mate. That would be better for me. But like, does anybody else think that it's not going to be City winning the Champions League this year? I hate to say it, like, but it does feel like there's almost an air of inevitability about it, because the only team I think that can realistically put it up to them are Real Madrid, maybe Arsenal on a once-off. But other than that, I don't think there's anybody that will get near the level that City are capable of in Europe this season, unfortunately. I think Madrid will win it this year, said Yannick. Well, I certainly have preference over them winning it than Manchester City. If Bellingham can get back fit, maybe. It'd certainly be preferable, as I said, to me, to see them win it over City. Bayern, I can't see it. They're just not good enough, Bayern. Yeah, to me, they just don't look good enough. They don't look complete enough in enough parts of the pitch. And they were destroyed by Leverkusen. Like, 3-0 didn't flatter Leverkusen at all. So I think if Leverkusen could do that to them, and I know they are one of the informed teams in Europe, then imagine Manchester City turning it on for 15 minutes. I think that the game would be over then. In 15 minutes, they just rip them apart. Who's our next manager? For me, Justin, it has to be Alonso. And I'd go as far as to say has to be. Because nobody else, I feel, is going to be able to make that same personal connection to the Liverpool fan base that Alonso will instantly have if he gets the job. You know, everybody will rightly have concerns about Alonso's lack of real senior first team experience as a manager. But sometimes you just know somebody has it. And I feel like that's the case with Alonso. You know, you can see the man's football and brain work when he's on the sideline, or even in the job that he did bringing Sociedad's B team up to the second tier, I think, of Spanish football, which is the furthest they're able to go. So I think, yeah, him. I don't have a second option. If you wanted me to pick 3, I would go Alonso, Postecoglou, De Zerbi, in that order. I'm not saying they're the 3 best coaches in the world by any stretch, but they're the 3 I think that would be best suited to our job. I would have no interest in Nagelsmann, Flick, scratch and sniff. Conte's the wrong fit. Zidane wouldn't be a good fit. I wouldn't like to go back and have Rafael Benitez again. Yeah, it's Alonso or bust in my mind. Thiago just played 5 minutes and he's injured again. I know, it's frustrating. And I guess, I hope it draws a line under any conversation about renewing his deal, because there were still amazingly some people who felt that that Thiago should be considered for a new deal. I don't think there's any sensibility to that. Best Sada replacement: Neto, Elise, or Bakayoko? I'd take Neto of those three, but Elise would be a close second. Just have concerns about both of them and their injuries. The reason I haven't said anything about Bakayoko is, again, I haven't seen enough of him. I'm not going to sit here and lie to anybody and tell them I watch much Dutch football. I don't. Any chance that Anfield Agenda will film a blog of the Boston show? Was thinking that would be an interesting for those who can't make it. We will be doing a vlog of Boston, yes. Whether it's of the show or whether it's of the trip, I'm not sure yet. But yes, we will certainly do our best to give people a flavour of what the evening is like, and we will have a vlog, yes. And also, don't forget, if you are in that neck of the woods, we'd love to see it. Let us know if you're coming to the show. You can get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. I think very fairly priced, if I'm being honest, at $25. I looked at comparables for others who were in that neck of the woods, and I think we come in pretty much on the right level, I hope. So yeah, if you are in that neck of the woods and you'd like to come, we'd definitely love to see you on the night, and you can get your tickets at Ticketmaster. What's the Mbappe and Xabi news? So there's been a couple of reports, namely from Miguel Delaney, that Liverpool, let me read this out to you. PSG felt a lack of loyalty when Mbappe's wider circle reached out to Liverpool last year, but there was no offer from the Anfield hierarchy. They just didn't want him badly enough to break their entire financial strategy. And that was from Miguel Delaney, and I think that also applies to Arsenal as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so that's where we're at with that. With regards to Alonso, I know a lot of people have pointed out to me in the past day or so that the higher-ups at Leverkusen feel confident that he's going to be there next season. But what do you expect him to say? I don't expect him to come out and publicly say, oh yeah, no, we're going to lose Alonso in the summer. So for me, I don't expect him to say anything else, but I also don't expect anything at this point other than Xabi Alonso to be appointed Liverpool manager. I feel like if FSG don't get this done, it's a mistake. And I feel like if Xabi doesn't take the job, it's a mistake. So for me, that's it. It's Alonso or we're in trouble, in my eyes. Thank you for answering questions. Appreciate it. My absolute pleasure, Justin. Thank you for being here. You never have to thank me for that, bro. I'm grateful to you all for being here with me each evening. I honestly think if Alonso wins the Bundesliga, he'll stay. So I guess my answer to that, Hamza, would be I hope we have an answer before the season comes to an end. So for me, I hope we don't get to have to find out if he wins the Bundesliga or not, because I don't think we have the what's the phrase I'm looking for here? Pleasure of waiting that long. I think we need to figure out who the next manager is going to be sooner rather than later, because there's 3 contract renewals that need to be dealt with quickly, and I'm sure that Trent, Mo and Verge are all going to want to know what the future looks like at the club. We need to get a sporting director in place. We need to get the plans in place for the summer transfer window. I don't think we can do all of that if it's a late appointment. You know, let's say, for instance, that Alonso said, I don't want to talk till the summer. That's a big risk, because if it doesn't work then, and Alonso, for whatever reason, decided to stay at Leverkusen, we're up shit creek with the clock ticking and the whole succession plan for Klopp's out the window. So, yeah, that would concern me. I hope that my ideal scenario is that we, come to an agreement with Leverkusen and Alonso. Everybody signs off on everything, and everyone just gets back to finishing their seasons, and we revisit it then in the summer, but knowing what the plan is. Big up, Craig. Hope you and your family are well. We're good, thank you, mate. My daughter's heading off on holidays on Thursday with her boyfriend. They're going over to Lanzarote, so everyone's just making sure they have everything they need at the moment, making sure they're all packed and ready to go. The only game this season where Endo, Dom, Maka and Bradley all played was the battering of Chelsea. We have a really good group of lads ready to play through the second half of the season, said Avani. Yeah, that was a pretty good game, mate, to be honest with you. Yeah, I was blown away that game. I thought we were brilliant. I know that Chelsea then got beaten easily by Wolves. The next game, it didn't look that great on us, but a 4-1 victory over Chelsea at any point I'll take. The best Liverpool podcast by 1,000 miles. Love it here. Bless you all. Thank you, Mark. Wouldn't call us a podcast, but appreciate the sentiment, mate. I really do. I like to think we're certainly the most interactive Liverpool channel. I'm never gonna undermine everybody else's work, but I certainly I'm very grateful that we have the audience that we do, and I love doing the shows the way I do them because, I'm not clever enough to come on and speak for an hour and a half on my own without help from the chat or without topics from the chat. I see other people who can make content come on, talk about their own thoughts for an hour. I couldn't do that. I don't have that many thoughts. We use kilometers now. I don't. I'm old school. I learned how to drive with miles, and I'm sticking to miles. So even when I'm looking at the speedo in the car now and it says 100 kilometers an hour, my brain's still saying 60 miles an hour. So I'm old school like that. Or actually, 100 is 60, isn't it? Just a bit above 60. 80 is 50. I think, yeah, so that means 100's 60 something, 62? What's your pecking order for the 7 forwards, including Doak and Gordon? Salah, Darwin, Jota, Diaz, Gakpo, Gordon, Doak, in that order. I'm a United fan, but I enjoy your content. Keep up the good work. Thank you. We're blessed that we've got fans that pop in and out from all different clubs, mate, and we appreciate your support and we appreciate your thoughts as well on the channel. Obviously, I despise your club, but I'm sure the feeling's mutual. What car do you drive? So we changed our car in September. We got our first new car as a married couple. We have a what is it called again? A Renault. Fuck, what is it called again? It's out the door here. Hang on. What the fuck is it? Huh. You should really know the car I'm paying for, shouldn't I? A Renault Arcana, that's the one. Yeah, we've got a Renault Arcana, fully hybrid. That's all blacked out, black badges, black wheels, F1 honeycomb grille, tricked out leather seats, and yeah, it's just top spec Renault Arcana, and it's pretty damn nice. To be fair, it's certainly the nicest thing I've had with regards to a car. So yeah, and I think if it was about 42 grand, if my memory's right, I think that was the price of it. But yeah, that's what I said. We're together now, myself and my missus. This is 24 years, and that's the first time we've had a new car as a married couple. So it was a big deal for us. The specs sound amazing. Oh, it's honestly really cool. Like it's the proper full hybrid that charges itself and stuff. It's automatic. It is a pretty impressive car. I won't lie to you. It is. For a Renault, it's pretty damn impressive. Have you got the RS edition? No, we've got the top spec, Douglas. We've got the 145 hybrid E-Tech engineered Arcana with the gold on the front of it, the gold honeycomb, blacked out wheels, blacked out Renault badges. Yeah, it's pretty fucking nice, mate. I won't lie. Is it red? No, it's black. All black. Black, black, black. Blacked out. There's gold on the front of it. But yeah, she's all black. My 2007 Citroen gearbox just broke. Hey, dude, I've had many bangers over the years. Trust me. Up until a few years ago, we were still driving really shit cars. Anything planned for your missus tomorrow? Nope. I laid down that marker early, dude. I don't buy into all these fake celebrations like Valentine's Day. No, they're Hallmark holidays. I don't buy into them. The gold lined interior, massaging seats. Yeah, got those, both of them. Yes, it does have all those things, mate. Yes. Why would you put a clause in your contract saying if three clubs come in for you, you can go and then not go when one does? So apparently the clause is not actually in the contract, Martin. It's a verbal clause. But you are right. You would expect that when one of the three, and in this case Liverpool, comes in, that he take the job. Yeah, I think this is probably his chance at the Liverpool job. If he doesn't take it now, who knows if he'll get a chance in the future or not. Because Liverpool, unlike maybe Bayern or certainly Real Madrid, usually hold on to their managers a bit longer. Do you celebrate Pancake Tuesday? I wish we did, but no. Unfortunately, nobody in my house likes pancakes except me. So no pancakes. Yes, that's right. No pancakes. No pancakes, Padraig. Just to make that very clear to you, mate. My wife doesn't love me. No pancakes. None.
Mom's making brownies and pancakes, isn't
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the lack of pancakes, love.
I don't got any pancakes here.
Thoughts on Gary O'Neill or Thomas Frank? I think Gary O'Neill has a great career ahead of him. I think he's a manager on the up, definitely. Not surprised to see him being mentioned as a potential future replacement for Southgate down the line. Thomas Frank, again, good coach. Would not feel comfortable with him taking the Liverpool job yet. I feel like he needs another move before a step up to a club the size of Liverpool. But a lot to like about him as a footballing guy. Speaks a lot of sense. Yeah, I like Thomas Frank. But Gary O'Neill, a lot of time for him. Feel like he was harshly treated by Bournemouth, but probably worked out well for everybody concerned. He's doing a great job at Wolves and has them playing some good football. Ishbrail pancakes, said Lukey boy. Oh, mate. Oh, I love fucking pancakes. I love pancakes. Now, do you guys like the skinny pancakes like crepes, or do you like the thick ass American ones? I'm an equal opportunist. I'll eat either, to be honest with you. Lemon and sugar, though. Go old school. It's always the best. Simple, but the best. Who would you want to keep one eye on in our squad between Phillips and Williams? Who are you choosing? Phillips. But I wouldn't be keeping either, to be honest with you. Skinny, clear, said Owen. Thick, said Mahmood. Crepes all day, said Avani. Both, I don't discriminate, said Yannick. Yeah, I'm the same, dude. Put either in front of me and I'm eating them, and saying thank you. Japanese fluffy pancakes. I don't know what they are, but you had me at the word fluffy. Waffles are pancakes. I like waffles. Yes, I do. We've got a waffle maker in the house. But yeah, I prefer pancakes and French toast. Blood pancakes? No, Jensk. No. Bold Jensk. No. Yeah, I love pancakes. Pancakes with banana, pancakes with syrup, pancakes with Nutella, pancakes with lemon and sugar, pancakes with jam, pancake with anything. Does Liverpool go against Luton next Wednesday? I don't know off the top of my head when our next fixture is, mate. After this weekend, I haven't looked that far ahead. Let me have a quick look for you. Next Wednesday. Yeah, we're home against Luton next Wednesday. 7:30 kickoff. So there you go. Don't forget to use AA10 while using Oosh. Absolutely, yes, do. Make sure that you use AA10 to get your 10% off any of the draws at oosh.com, including the League Cup final draw that they're doing, which is €34.99 or €35 to enter, and you can win 2 tickets in the Liverpool end, see Liverpool Chelsea in the League Cup, 1 night's accommodation in a hotel in London, €300 in Ryanair vouchers, or the cash alternative. And all you have to do is go over to oosh.com by either scanning that QR code on the screen or just going to the website and putting in the code AA10. And it is limited to 199 tickets as well, and the winner will be announced on 15th of February. The other one they're doing a 10 grand Valentine's Day cash giveaway, and it's only €1.99 to enter before your AA10 discount code. And best of luck to everybody who enters. I just clicked like for your wife, no pancakes. Yeah, she's my wife doesn't like pancakes. My daughter and son, nobody really eats them in our house except me, so no pancakes. But that's okay. We're going to Boston, and I'm going to be making sure I eat pancakes every goddamn day when I'm in Boston. Which Liverpool player do you think you'd get on with most if you were manager? Robbo. Definitely. If I could interview one Liverpool player, it would be Robbo or Conor Bradley. But the Bradley thing is the Irish connection. But Robbo, I think, would be fun to have a chat with. Traditional Irish Nana's pancakes, crepes, nothing better than lemon and sugar. Can't beat it. Don't like thick pancakes. I don't mind either, Shane, but certainly not arguing if you give me some crepes with lemon and sugar. That's yeah. I love even now the sticky fingers. Oh mate, all I can think about now is pancakes. What about French toast with maple syrup? God yes, and powdered sugar and banana as well. Yeah, French toast is awesome. Craig has salty banter United tears on his pancakes. I certainly wouldn't say no, mate. Yeah, little few sprigs on there. Why not? Just put the what was that? 7 was it? 7-0, 7-0, 7. Trent, Ibu, Robbo, and Verge all seem like they're nice, funny people. Look, to be fair, most of the team seem like they're nice guys. Yeah, definitely don't feel like we've got too many arseholes in the Liverpool setup. I think Jurgen's assembled quite a good group of people. Lemon and sugar, full stop. Leave it out with the girly stuff. Lemon and sugar is great. I'm not against lemon and sugar, mate, but nothing wrong with a bit of maple syrup on there either. Yeah. Oh God, you folks are killing me. All I'm thinking about now is pancakes, and I know I'm not having any, so there you go. Orange and sugar on my pancakes. Orange? Huh. Never tried one with orange, Rachel. I've seen people make the orange sauce and stuff for them, but I've never had them. Interesting. Orange. Crepes cooked in Grand Marnier and ice cream. There you go, Nick. I think I've tried that once, if I'm not mistaken. But that would be... Grand Marnier is the orangey stuff, right? I think I've had crepe Suzettes. Is that what it is? I think I've had that once. Why do Pancakes Agenda sound like such a good channel? It'd be a great channel, wouldn't it, Morgan? I definitely could front the Pancake Agenda, 100%. Add some caramelised pecans. Oh, yes. Do love me some caramelised pecans. Thoughts on Man City being 2-1 up? Look, I expect them to come through against Copenhagen. Fairly straightforward, in all honesty. So, look, my friends, I'm going to say goodnight, and I will catch up with you wonderful people tomorrow. We'll be back at 4 o'clock for another afternoon agenda, where we'll be talking about the lack of pancakes that I had today, and you guys will be teasing me about all the pancakes that you guys had. But look, until then, thank you for watching. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so, please. Drop a like on the stream as well. We're at 362. We can get that up to 500. And I will catch you wonderful people tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. And yeah, we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.